Today on episode 60, are the Patriots fixable enough to even win a playoff game? Well, how about even making the playoffs? This and more, so stay tuned.
Welcome to The Sports Perspective, an American football fancast about the New England Patriots and also news from around the league. Here is your host, Roy.
Hello, everybody, and if you're in Patriots Nation, if you're a Patriots fan, you got to be feeling a little ticked off, annoyed, frustrated, all kinds of feelings going on, I'm assuming. This has been a couple weeks of craziness going on. If you look at the Patriots about halfway through the season, you're thinking, this is a really good team, at least good enough to be a Super Bowl contender, and they get a shot. Now, you look at the team, will they win another game this season? Yeah, you look at it now, yeah, the Super Bowl is always your goal. But first you have to make the playoffs. They could lose all the rest of their games, well, the last two games, and potentially not even make the playoffs. And then if you get to the playoffs, you have to get past the first round of the playoffs. You have to win your first game to move on, duh. And what happens if somehow, with all this craziness happening, you end up with a road game? That doesn't sound too good if you're a Patriots fan. Or if you're the Patriots, it shouldn't. All 5 of their losses were on the road this year. Does anyone out there have faith that any of these things are possible with this team as far as winning playoff games on the road, getting to the playoffs? Any faith at all? We'll have to talk about that a little bit later. But let's talk about some stuff that's been going on. Yes, we know the Patriots lost to Pittsburgh. But there's been other stuff going on around the league. But first, how about the offensive lineman from the Patriots, David Andrews? He is quoted as saying in the paper after their loss that, and I quote, "The prideful offensive line feels it let the team down." Well, yeah, you should feel that way every week. This offensive line has been pretty good. Nothing stellar. They always have their moments in games. There'll be moments in games when they're making holes for Sony Michel. There are moments in games when he's fighting for every inch he can get. But as far as letting the team down, there was plenty of blame to go on. But again, we'll get into that in a little bit. I wanted to touch on this NFL season. This has been another crazy week in the NFL. Look at the Chargers beat the Chiefs. Who the hell would have thunk that? And imagine if the Patriots had won their last 2 games, we'd have the number 1 seed right now. But anyway, the Cleveland Browns, they win again. They beat the Broncos. And how about those amazing Jacksonville Jaguars, who talked the talk and supposedly was walking the walk, blah, blah, blah. And they lost to Washington. Are they still chirping down there in Jacksonville? Makes you wonder. Knowing them, they probably are. And how about the Indianapolis Colts? They shut out the hot Cowboys. Cowboys were rolling. All of a sudden, the Cowboys got really hot. And then they lost. Then you get the Bears. The Bears. They totally crushed the Packers' chances of making the playoffs. Well, another year for Aaron Rodgers out of the playoffs. And then you have the Seahawks. The playing well improving Seahawks. They lost to the freaking 49ers. What? That's totally insane. And on the flip side of that, those Philadelphia Eagles, I almost called them the Phillies. The Philadelphia Eagles, they beat the Rams. They beat the Rams. Another fun, crazy weekend in the NFL. And all you Patriots fans, I can tell you this. Or fan for any team that, if you listen to this, your team could make the playoffs. This year, the playoffs, I think everything's out the window. I think anything can happen. And chances are, we're going to have some crazy, stunning playoff games this year. I'm just predicting that right now. The way the last several weeks have been going, some crazy things are going to happen. This is a great time to be a football fan, in spite of all the crazy stuff that's going on in football. It is the greatest sport in the world, because you never know what's going to happen. And we all know what happened here. Let's get into it. Okay, let's just do this. The Patriots lost to the Steelers 17-10. Both these teams suck. Let's just call a spade a spade. They're both not that great. The Patriots, they're now 9-5. And I think Pittsburgh's 8-5-1. Something ridiculous. But as far as the Patriots go, they deserve to lose the game. Bad O-line play. Bad D-line play. Poor quarterback play. Who, let's face it, Tom Brady the last couple of weeks, he's looking a little old. Then you have drop passes. I love Julian Edelman. I think he's a tough, good player. A long line of wide receivers that we've had that were little but were really good. But look at his drops he's had over his career. A lot of them seem to happen and crush the Patriots' momentum. They seem to come at the wrong time. And don't get me wrong, yes, I know he's made some great, great plays. But he's had some drops that really cost them. But things happen. You can't expect him to catch every pass. And how about the game plan? How about the game plan? Too many games this season. They've started rushing the football, and I'm all for it. You have a quarterback who's in his 40s. Preserve him. Run the ball more. You have the running backs. But then they just stop doing it. And they start passing all over the field. A buddy of mine's always saying, all they're doing is throwing the hell out of the ball. That's all they do. Then occasionally they get back to it and they run a few more times, blah, 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 whatever. Now, I'm not saying run the ball down people's throats. But a little more consistency might actually help this team. Then how about James White, speaking of the running game? Where the hell has he been the last several weeks? Beginning of the year, I said he was their MVP. Now they kind of stopped using him for the most part. And then I heard on our local sports radio station here in Boston that some people are believing that they've eased back on using him because his touches of the ball were getting a little too high, and they're trying to preserve him. Preserve him for what? Because if you don't win games, you might miss the playoffs, and it won't matter about preserving him at all. He'll get all the preserving he needs in a beach somewhere while everybody else is in the playoffs. Could the Patriots actually have too many running backs? You have three really good running backs, Sony Michel, James White, and Rex Burkhead. It's kind of interesting. Rex Burkhead comes back, and then James White stops getting used. And I don't think it's because he rests Burkhead. I think maybe they are saving him. I don't know why. I can see being a little more cautious. You want to keep him for the playoffs. All right, I get that. But really, give James White his touches. And then you have people screaming all over the Sports Talk Radio in New England. They should have thrown James White the ball on third down. Oh yeah, great. You throw the ball short on third down. If he doesn't get the first down, the game's probably over. Because they can't spike the ball. They have no timeouts. Now, I don't know why you couldn't run the play to get the first down and then just spike the ball. But that's neither here nor there. I think the pass was a little off. I think Brady was throwing to Gronk. I think if Edelman had run a little more shallow and a little more underneath, maybe a yard or two out of the end zone, Brady could have threw a better pass to him, get the first down. Maybe they had time to spike the ball. But you can't fault Brady for throwing it into the end zone in that play. I don't fault him for it. It's just what I fault Brady on is throwing that little Hail Mary pass in the end zone when they're driving down the field, have a short field goal, and he throws an interception that doesn't need to be. Stop forcing the ball to Gronk. He's not the player he was 2 years ago. He's not the player he was last year. Dude's done. He is so done. If he comes back next year, I will be totally shocked. I don't see any way he comes back next year. But as far as I'm concerned, the Patriots deserve to lose this game. They deserve to lose. Though I will say, Pittsburgh didn't deserve to win it either. They didn't play that great themselves. The way that Pittsburgh played this game, the Patriots teams over the last few years would have crushed this Pittsburgh team. I don't think this Pittsburgh team is really good at all. They have really good players, yes, without a doubt. They have some really good young receivers, not even including Antonio Brown. But the Patriots would have won this game big if they had a team of a year or two ago. Pittsburgh just isn't that good. And I'm not just saying this because I'm a Patriots fan. I actually like the Pittsburgh Steelers. When I was a kid, I remember reading the Rocky Bleier story in my book at school, and I fell in love with the Steelers. I became a Steelers fan. Not over the Patriots, but it made me start following the Steelers. But they're just not good. Not good at all. And how about the Patriots being terrible on the road? Horrible road team this year. As I mentioned earlier, 5 losses on the road. These are the losses. The Jaguars, okay. Theoretically, at the time, they were a good team. The Lions, wah. The Titans, The Dolphins, no way should have happened. The Steelers, they should have won. They should have won. The only good thing about what's going on right now is the last 2 games, they're at home. They're playing the Buffalo Bills next week, and they're playing the Jets the following weekend. They're both early games, 1 p.m., and if my calculations are correct, at this point, all we have to do is win one more game and we're in the playoffs. Great. Wonderful. But this being said, the way the Patriots have looked the past 2 weeks, is anybody overconfident that they can win these 2 games? Yeah, we should win one of them, but would you put money on it? I wouldn't. I wouldn't at all. No way would I do that. Here's some interesting little tidbits that I found out. Now, in September and October, the Patriots were rushing the ball at a really good clip. In September, they ran the ball. They had 114 rushing attempts. In October, they had 113. That's pretty up there. Now, in November, in December, they had 86 and 88 attempts, respectively. Now, when you think of running the football, and if you've been a long-time football fan, an older football fan particularly, you've always heard, well, you run the ball more when it gets cold. Not with the Patriots. Not with the Patriots at all. They seem to run the ball less. Now, again, I'm not saying they need to pound the ball, just run it like 50 times a game. I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying is be a little more consistent running the ball. Should they run the ball a little more? Yes. No, I'm not saying run the ball on first down, second down, pass on third down. I'm not saying run on first down, pass on second down, run on third down. I'm saying just mix it up. Mix it up a little bit. You don't have to be a running team. Just mix it up. They have the running backs to do it. You have 3 good running backs. Though me personally, I would use Sonny Michel as my main back, and I would put James White as my third down back. And I would use Burkhead as a filler. He can fill in for both of them. Become a little more committed to it. I would bet you this team would be a lot better for doing that. I would bet they would be. All right. So up next, your mighty Patriots are playing the Buffalo Bills. Now, if you remember correctly, they actually beat Buffalo in October. And Steven Gostkowski, he was a kicking phenom. He had 4 field goals in this game. And then Devin McCourty had that 84-yard interception for a touchdown, which kind of put the game away. Now, Buffalo, they're a team that's not in the playoff hunt at all. So they have nothing to lose. So they can come out this game one of 2 ways. Come out for blood, trying to ruin the Patriots' playoff chances. And if I'm the Patriots, Josh McDaniels, I tell David Andrews in their offensive line, we're going to pound the ball early. And I'm not saying, but what I mean by pound the ball, I mean every series, run the ball a few times. I'm not saying back-to-back, become a running team, but I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying run the ball a little bit. Get physical. Play physical. Break the Buffalo's will to play football. You do that early to a team that's out of the playoffs, and they're going to be like, see you later, I'm done. If nothing else, it'll mess up Buffalo because they'll be thinking you're going to pass all over them. No. Run the freaking ball. Make Buffalo not want to be part of that game. Make them want nothing to do with it. And then pass to win the game. Crush them like the little gnats they are. Crush them. That's what I would do. Josh, Bill, if you're listening, this will work. Trust me. Trust me. Beat those freaking Bills. All right, guys. Let's hope the Patriots win this game next week, get into the playoffs. But I don't know. It's going to be a tough one, I think. But I want to let everyone know I am not going to have an episode the next 2 weeks because when I release date will be falling on those days of the holiday. So I want to wish everybody a happy Christmas and a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, Happy Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all that good stuff. Happy holidays, everybody. And I will see you at playoff time. Okay? So, everyone, that is going to be the show for today. If you're listening on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, like and subscribe. Apple Podcast, please subscribe, rate, and review. And if you like what you've heard today and want to talk about what I mentioned, you can hit me back on Facebook at Roy Brady, email sportsperspective17@gmail.com, Twitter Roy Brady. Again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year, everybody. Good night.